morning, afternoon, or evening, where you're at, ladies and gents. I am Kurojiri, your resident tinkerer and Medarotter, and this is the Medarot News Network, bringing you all the latest developments and happenings with our favorite pet fighting robot series. Now, this week it looks like we're going to be stepping back just a little bit from all the events and all the big rewards and such, but not quite to a degree. This week it looks like we'll be bringing back a couple of old faces from the days of Medarot 5, where things were really starting to kick up with some new mechanics and a completely new roster that ironically showed no old faces or returnees and sported all new bots exclusively. However, there is one particular interest in the bots that are being highlighted this week when it comes to gacha banners, and that they are all designed by the legendary Mr. TAGRO, who has been known for making a lot of very iconic designs between Medarots 4 and 5, primarily in 5, as well as making a lot of returns to make new models or even the upgrades to the 4 Kings, which we have seen in previous weeks, such as with Should Wyvern last week. But with that being said, let's go ahead and jump right into what was announced for this week going forward, starting of course with the new lineup and the new models introduced with the gacha banners. Starting that lineup, we only have 2 brand new models this week, the first of which is DOG-03, Brutus, the only male combat type dog in the series, with a kit of Break Rush, Hammer, Power Hammer, biped legs, and the leg ability of Soaring. And then we also have the counterpart CAT-03 Dencat, with a kit of Mobile Cooler, Thunder, Hyper Thunder, biped legs, and the leg ability of Mascot. Now, between Brutus and Dencat, we are actually seeing the first ever instance of Mobile Cooler and Soaring exclusively on non-collab models. Just to kind of explain both of those briefly, Mobile Cooler is basically Cooler plus Mobile Boost, so 50% of both those stats. Meanwhile, Soaring is buffed to all leg stats up to 5 stacks for every melee attack or melee skill used by the bot in question. So, going to be very interesting to see both of these models officially make their grand debuts. I have to say, the overall viability of the two is kind of to be determined, I guess you can call it, because triple AoE and then double stunning with a support skill aren't necessarily anything we haven't seen, but it is still going to be very useful all the same, given the stats I was able to see on the breakdowns. But with the introduction of these two as well, we also see reruns of very popular models also designed by Mr. TAGRO. Those models in particular include DND-0 Hardness 10, the original final boss and diamond type from Medarot 5, with a kit of Hyper Missile, Power Rifle, Mega Gatling, biped legs, and the leg ability of Brilliance. Many years later, with the introduction of Medarot S, Mr. TAGRO came back to introduce a new diamond type and older sister to Hardness 10, and that is DND-01 Doreza Diechi, with Perfect Guard, Hyper Missile, Giga Gatling, biped legs, and the leg ability of Charm. Last but not least, another very iconic model of the TAGRO art style and design is AAG-0 Particle, the original Archangel type, with a kit of Mirror Guard, Stat Cleanse, Revive, biped legs, and the leg ability of Auto Repair, who also is capable of meta-changing into a kit of Counter Guard, Super Repair, Time Attack, Tank Legs, and the leg ability of Holy Grail. Now honestly, with all 5 models that are available this week as reruns or new models, you really can't go wrong either way no matter which one you pick, because they all offer something fantastic in one form or another. Brutus for the introduction of Soaring on a non-collab model, Dencat for more options for stunning skills as well for female-based models, especially with Hyper Thunder. Hardness 10, honestly, is probably going to be one of the big OGs that no one can ever go wrong with for her wonderful versatility as a long-range and a dominant shooter type, especially for female models. If you decide that Hardness 10 isn't your thing, Doreza Diechi also is fantastic for that as well. Wonderful stats, high power, good leg stats, and a very solid defense skill are all things you really can't ever go wrong with using either. Lastly, and I have to say, not necessarily for bias sake, but also for sake of viability, Particle is probably going to be the big go-to when it comes to all the models this week, primarily for her very wide variety of healing and support skills that she has at her disposal, and essentially that as long as on any team that she's on, she's basically immortal. So the only real weakness she has is anyone that catches her with Survivor, which is no healing skills while active, or anyone that can catch her with Rock Crusher while she's meta changed for an instant kill. In all those situations, good luck taking this holy Archangel down, because you're gonna need every last bit of luck with it if she is on the enemy team. With the Fierce battles we have this week, we are changing things just slightly, but still maintaining that whole Medarot 5 theme that we have going on. Starting that lineup, we have SCB-0 Kana Bunbun, the Scarab Beetle type and parody to the iconic Metabots, with a kit of Triple Bug, multi-legs, and the leg ability of Spearhead. We also have the re-release and re-debut of LLY-0 Lily Madonna with Triple Laser, Tank Legs, and the Haja leg ability. And the only model that is not present in Medarot 5 did not show up until Medarot Brave for the GameCube, but really made their appearance much later on, is CMR-0 Aim Flash, the camera type, with a kit of Flash, Beam, Mega Gatling, Wheeled Legs, and the leg ability of Extra Magazine. Now honestly, between these 3 models alone, there are a lot of really popular skills, very versatile skills you really can't ever go wrong with using. Kana Bunbun for Bug if you need to turn skip anything, and relatively solid multi-legs if you do need them early on. Lily Madonna for lasers, which are always very good conventional shooting skills, and the optic attribute gives them an extra damage bonus upon certain Metaforce thresholds. Aim Flash is probably going to be the most versatile of all of them though, and it's for that reason I actually have to make him the MVP of the week. Even in competitive meta today, I still very often see people have fully capped his head for Flash, because it has a very high heat skill, and Flash, essentially being Deathlock Light, can auto-cancel basically any shield that it attacks or serve as an instant turn skip if you're able to outrun the foe in question. Plus, Wheeled Legs with Extra Magazine gives him an extra head use in particular, and even though Beam is probably going to be the one skill you really don't use on him at all, if at all, Mega Gatling essentially is going to be pretty solid too, especially because it is on a farmable Fierce Battle bot, and not one that you have to really farm for from a gacha to get a hold of. Now, Kana Bunbun and Lily Madonna are still very useful to get a hold of, but if you do find yourself with extra time this week, and you're still relatively new, or just fresh starting out, Aim Flash over here is going to be the big one you're going to really want to focus on, so that you can keep your teams in the know on speed, turn skipping, and keeping your team at that advantage while on the field. Now, when it comes to events and such this week, thankfully things are going to slow down just a little bit, so we really don't have to worry about any events or any particular gachas we got to really push for or need for points or bonuses. This week it's going to be pretty quiet, like I said. However, we are going to be seeing the reintroduction of a specialized daily dungeon featuring both Dencat and Brutus. And in addition to this daily dungeon, we are also getting a rerun of daily missions. And these give us opportunity to earn extra rewards, such as extra ruby shards, where every 10 equals 1 ruby, as well as gacha tickets toward the permanent pool, where you can pick up a lot of bots that relatively recently made their releases in there, such as, say, Hypocrite or the Ancient, that you perhaps have not had the chance to obtain in favor of the other limited banners. In addition to this, we are also getting 2 brand new super invasions that are also going live this week. The first of which is Cats and Dogs, also featuring Brutus and Dencat. Now, if you're going to make any TF2 jokes between red and blue, please do so now. If you're going to do them in the comments, absolutely do so. I am fully expecting them, being completely honest, with the release of the colors and the particular bots in question. So if you are going to make TF2 jokes, go nuts. You have my permission for it. We also have the release of a super invasion featuring the 4 Kings upgraded forms. That includes Shud Wyvern, Desai Centaurus, Sappho Behemoth, and of course Mizrash Levia, highlighting all 4 models there. Now, in terms of how powerful or how difficult these fights are going to be, I really can't say because they don't give us the modifiers, of course, until the week of. But, again, I do highly anticipate that they will be very profitable because they do give you the 10 rubies and the Cyclasium each, and of course the iconic nameplate that you can use on your profile banner. But if you are curious on what exactly those are, give it just a few days after the weekly update this coming Thursday, and I'll see what I can do on getting the Super Invasions guide updated on the Google Docs link below, so you can keep an eye on what to expect on those and how to build your teams around those modifiers. With the addition of those, we are also getting the return of Marathon Survival, which will be an event but also more casual. So this is going to be really easy, especially if you're just starting out or relatively early on in your Medarot career. Basically explaining marathon survival. Upon completing a round, all 12 parts you use between all 3 of your bots are added to a banned list, which means you are not allowed to use them until you can reach a checkpoint or until you finish the marathon, whichever comes first. Upon reaching either of these, all the parts in the banned list are now refreshed so that you can use them once again. And no matter if you're early on or if you're a seasoned vet taking on the more recent ones, this is still a very lucrative source of a lot of rubies and resources, so definitely don't waste time tackling this once it goes live, and make sure that you can capitalize on earning those resources. Lastly, when it comes to all game-related stuff, in the last several weeks, Hotori on the Twitter channel has been teasing a restoration project he's been working on, and via the use of Twitter contests, such as retweets or online PvP completions or so on and so forth. And we got kind of trickle-teased parts, individual parts in question. But this week it looks like we're finally getting our first look at the full design, seeing that we've met all the requirements that Hotori made while on the official channel. Now, there has been no official name or skill set of this guy. Really, all we saw is the design and a 3D turnaround on the in-game screenshot by Mr. Producer. But we also kind of have an idea that it will be triple shooting with multi-legs based on the screenshot. And according to, or rather, in contrast to what I believed it was the other week with it being a Greek head upgrade, it looks like I was not quite on the right track, but I was kind of there with it as well, being a Hydra type. This one around being based specifically on the Yamato no Orochi motif, which is different, of course, from the design that Greek head uses, but I am still excited to see what this design will be sporting once it does go live. I really can't say anything on it, but I do anticipate we will probably see this design in the next couple weeks or so, because they normally like to reveal designs and then release them with a very small window between each other. But of course, when this model does go live, you can bet your butt I will indeed report on it and keep you guys in the know on if it's good or if it's not. Now, on the community front, we actually have a lot of really big pieces of news in terms of the community, and I will kind of break all these down one at a time. The first of which, and the most prominent, is the fact that as a reminder and a friendly reminder, we are having an Ori Meta contest in the Discord server, where you can submit your own custom designs, fitting rules of course, and the winners will be in 3 winners and 2 honorable mentions will be chosen for a prize pool relative to number of participants submissions and participants listed. But just to go over some of the rules here real quick, you can see these on the Discord server as well. There is no limit to the number of submissions you can send in, but if one of yours is chosen, the others are disqualified and cannot be chosen as finalists. Obviously put, I just have to put that down. There's also no motive prompts, which means there is no limit to the kind of designs you can come up with. So the sky's the limit. Put the pen to paper and come up with something creative because it is all you, my friend. If you do have some trouble trying to come up with something, we do have a random Medarot kit generator also on the Discord server as well that you can use to kind of spit out a few results and just kind of see what you can come up with based on what it gives you. And this is mostly designed to be like a jumpstart idea more than anything else. So not necessarily like a pure use what it spits out, but kind of to help jumpstart some ideas based on what it gives you and what your mind can cook up. The contest itself will also be going from the start of October, so very early next week, to mid-November, November 21st, because I will be announcing the winners of this contest on Medarot Day 2023 on November 28th. So you guys have plenty of time to work on designs, and like I said, there is no limit to the submissions either. Just keep it clean, follow the rules, and just make sure that all submissions have the required listings here below. Model ID and a name, part name and skills, art of at least one angle, and of course, most importantly, your signature, because any commission art used for this will be disqualified and not eligible as a finalist. But this is only one piece of the really big news we had. The other really, really big piece of news that I reported on yesterday was the victory that Imagineer had in the European court system over the trademark dispute of the name Metabots. For those that are uninformed or unaware, Imagineer has currently been in limbo with the courts for the last 2.5-3 years or so with a Spanish scammer that bought the name and tried to release bootlegs and monetize off of them trying to incorporate crypto and NFT into them. Well, as of yesterday, 9/25/23, Imagineer has proven victorious in the courts, and they have sided in their favor, citing that Metabots officially belongs to Imagineer once again. So this means that Imagineer will own both the English and the Japanese true names, and anything going forward released as Metabots or Medarot will be done exclusively through them as the true owners of the franchise. So this is a very good day and a good month and essentially good year to be a Medarotter, and I'm more than certain that we will be seeing hopefully more news of this victory going forward now that the news is officially public on the internet and spreading absolutely like wildfire. Now, if you want the more in-depth breakdown as to what exactly happened through this whole thing, I did post that video on my channel yesterday, so you can check it out there and get the down low and the 411 on what all happened, because it was how do I put this nicely? It was quite a journey, I'll put it that way, and lots of ups and downs. But I'm so glad that Imagineer did finally come out on top, and we can finally hopefully see more Medarot stuff here in the West. And this era of a language barrier between us communities is finally coming to an end. Now, continuing on with more community stuff here, we are still always looking for translators to assist us with any translation endeavors. Right now, Medarot 3 is the big currently ongoing endeavor, and a little over 80% completed. There is still a lot more text that needs translated before it can be inserted back in the game and called completed. We would like to work on other titles like Medarot 4, which is undergoing decompilation, Medarots 5 and Navi, or even later titles as well. We want to work on them, we just don't have the manpower to do so. So if you are knowledgeable in coding or cleaning or Japanese and have some time on your hands, or know somebody who you think would be able to give us a hand, reach out to us, join our Discord in the links below, and ask around. We'll get you in touch with the right people to fill you in on what has been done and what still needs done up to this point. Now, if you are also unable to donate time or effort, or know anybody that can donate time or effort but still want to help to the cause, down in the comments below is a link to a coffee link, to a crowdfunding link that Variant put up a few weeks ago, so that you can donate monetarily to the cause, so we can commission any of the harder pieces that we still need to get done that are still in the to translate list. More links on that below, and also in our Discord if you need more information on those. Now, with the weekly art highlights here on the MNN, I chose to do something a little different this time around, primarily because next week actually will be in the throes of October and Spooky Month. Now, for those currently in the Discord server are kind of aware of this challenge I put out, but I do want to basically start a trend and see just how far it goes. With this trend, which was inspired by Twitter user Akiko, I did actually have this art bookmarked for a while and kind of forgot I did after I was flipping through it one day until I found it. But it gave me an idea, because October is just around the corner, and I want to start a trend called Spooky Scary Medarot, as you see by that trend, by that hashtag down below. What I want you to do is, if you have Ka-O-Lantern's head, as you see here as the common part, I want you to come up with a design that is based off the ever-popular Spooky Scary Skeletons dance, which is a black bodysuit and a jack-o'-lantern face mask, and I want you to make that your main partner bot for the entire month of October, from October 1st to Halloween on October 31st. And I want to see just how far that this can reach. Now, I did provide a couple of ideas here on different samples you could use toward making it, or if you want to kind of copy what Akiko did here with Makaritas' parts, you can do that too. But basically the whole premise is an all-black body with color chips, but Ka-O-Lantern's face stays the same. And I just want to see if this can take off as a little trending joke that we can play with the Medarot community, and just see how far of a reach that it has. Again, if you do decide to go through with this, make sure that you post on the usual Medarot tags as well, and the Medarot S tag, and include the Spooky Scary Medarot tag as you see here below, and primarily use this just through the month of October. Now, you only have to use this if there is not an event going on. If there's something going on that requires you to use it for points or bonuses, that of course is an exception to the rule. But anytime there is not an event going on through October, switch it to something of this design and configuration and leave it there all month. And let's just see how far that goes. But with all that being said, I do believe that covers everything for this week's episode. So lots of big news in the community, as I said, and lots of very nice designs highlighting from our resident legend, Mr. TAGRO. But if you'd like to know more, you can follow us below on Facebook at the Medarot News Network page, or the Metabots Forever community on there as well, which currently reached over 2.1k members, which I'm very, very proud of. You can also join us on Discord in the link provided in the comments below, and this will keep an even closer ear to the ground on the action. This includes any new merchandise, my weekly episodes, fan art, community updates, or anything else of the like. The Discord server is going to be the first place you hear it before it goes anywhere else. You can also reach out to me personally on Twitter at Ishigamikura, so if you have any questions or feedback or comments or suggestions, or would love just to stop in and say hello, I leave my DMs open for that very reason. So don't be a stranger, stop on in and say hello and I'll get to you when I can. In addition, if you are a streamer, VTuber, or YouTuber and would love to collaborate sometime, whether that means having you here on my channel as a guest host, or me stopping in on yours for a friendly chat or a friendly game, I would absolutely love to coordinate with you. So reach out to me in those DMs and we can most certainly make something happen and coordinate some schedules. Lastly, do give these wonderful members of the Medarot community a follow as well. Of course, because we had a lot of designs featured with Mr. TAGRO, I did have to highlight him this week at TAGRO Chang. Definitely give him a follow and show your support because his designs are absolutely fantastic. Same can be said for Fujioka Kenki and Tiyuga, who are also the other two of the big three artists for the Medarot community, especially for official art related to the game. You can also give my friend Moen a follow on Twitter as well at MoenCHSci, who runs the Metabots fan account, the unofficial fan club channel on Twitter as well. And he just recently started a challenge a couple days ago, a 100-day art challenge, where he draws Medarots in casual everyday situations. So definitely give him a follow to keep up to date on that. But all that being said, I do believe that covered everything like I said, and as always, I do appreciate you all for stopping by just as you always do. And until next time, this is your host, Kura Isagami of the Medarot News Network, signing out.